Hey guys, can I give a bit of a rant? A friend of mine the other day was kicked out of a group because she's going through divorce and was expressing her anger and frustration and hurt and bitterness and everything. And the leader of the group informed her that she was kicked out of the group because of her negative attitude. And that her bitterness and resentment and anger would not be tolerated, and that it was a negative influence on the group. And you know what? Typical. The church used to be known as the place that protected and provided safety for the weak. What's the true religion? Taking care of widows and orphans, not because they were poor. It was why they were poor, because they were marginalized, stigmatized, shamed, and rejected by the surrounding culture and society. That's why the church took care of them. We don't just take care of the poor. We take care of the people for reasons why they're poor. This is we've lost it. We've lost our ability to show empathy and to care and stop judging people who aren't like us. This is why we splintered off into all these little groups for widows and people who've lost a loved one to suicide, or cancer victims, or alcoholics, or drug abusers, or all these separate groups, because the only people who understand a person who's lost someone to suicide is someone else who's lost someone to suicide. I know, because I lost someone to suicide, someone I love, my brother. And that's not the way it should be. It's fine to have a separate group, sure. But if we have to have separate groups because nobody else understands, then we've lost it. We've failed, like the church has failed. Now, the only way you can take part in church is if you've got your act together, if you heal quickly, like overnight, miraculously, if you have no problems, especially if you're living in anger or bitterness or resentment because you've been fucked up the ass. Sorry. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. Here's the thing: the church can't control my language either. Our language is an expression of our emotions, and the church can't handle emotions, and it can't handle the expressions of those emotions. It constricts people with their feelings, and it silences people with their language and words. So, I run an online community called The Lasting Supper. We try to make it as safe as possible for people to just express their doubts and fears and questions about belief and theology and their relationship to the church and all that, because nobody else will allow them to do that. And it's a shame. The church would still have me if it wanted me. If it just let me continue questioning and searching my own path and trying to find my own way of being who I am. But no, it couldn't tolerate it anymore. And it just came to the point where it couldn't hold me and my questions, which is a shame, because I think that's why the church is losing people in droves, and they will not come back because they're not being understood. They're not being given space. They're not being given grace. They're not just being accepted for who they are, with all their doubts and questionings and struggles and sufferings and sins, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a shame. The church is fucked up that it no longer. And you know what? The church isn't the only institution that does this. Families do it, schools do it, some professions do it, some governments do it, So it's our failure to be human. It's our failure to be, just, and it's our failure to show love and grace to those who are suffering and struggling. Because I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, not only in my own life, but in the lives of other people. If you give them time, you give them space, they will help themselves. They will heal themselves. But we don't. It's like Jesus said, "Come unto me, all ye who are weary and heavy laden, and I'll kick your ass out the door." That's basically the attitude we have now. in a lot of our churches, communities, and everywhere else. So anyway, that's my rant. I just needed to get that off my chest. It's something I'm very passionate about. I care about. People have the right to gather together, and my only concern is that we do it in a healthy way. It's okay to make mistakes. I've made mistakes. The communities I've been a part of have made mistakes, but we try to learn how to love one another better and to be more gracious and open-hearted and open-minded and open-armed towards each and every person, no matter where they are on the grid. That's what it's about. So, yeah, rant over. Thanks, guys, for listening. Take care. Have a great day.